Hello, everyone, distinguished guests, esteemed colleagues, and fellow ICEP members. Good afternoon. And I hope rinig po ang technicals. By the way, am I clear? Clear po ba yung voice, audio natin from your side? And I think, good enough yan. Thank you po. Clear naman, sir. Then welcome po to the ICEP Cavite Bayanihan Tech, a technopreneurship webinar for sustainable electronics engineering and ICT, together with ICEP Kingdom of Saudi Arabia Central Region Chapter and our sponsor, ACube Technologies Inc. We're excited and glad to have you join us today. Again po, good afternoon sa ating lahat. By the way, I am Engineer Joshua D. Pitong, and I will be your host for today's webinar, a member of ICEP Cavite. Now, to set the stage po for our discussion, please use the virtual background we've provided. You'll find one in your email and another one in our chat box. Yan, sa mga wala pa pong na-receive na background for our today's webinar, we have here po on our chat box. Kindly use po. Then for our naming convention, once you've set the background, our online meeting background, for our naming convention, kindly change your Zoom name with the following format. Chapter _ first name and then last name. Example given po, as you can see on our screen yan, meron ng mga nakapagpalit from ICEP Manila, ICEP KSA, CRC, Cavite, yung other chapters po natin, yan, Lupang, to acknowledge the chapter you are affiliated with. Next, let's get the ball rolling for our house rules. Before we proceed, and to ensure the smooth and orderly conduct of our webinar, please take note po of the following house rules that we have this afternoon. First, mute your audio device during the meeting. Just turn it on during only the Q&A portion sa later part po of our webinar. And next, respect the speakers on the floor. Let us avoid po yung mga unnecessary distraction. Third one, during the Q&A session, you can raise your hand, ask questions, and wait for the host to acknowledge you. Yes, i-acknowledge po namin yan to further clarify yung mga questions po natin. Then, you can also type in your questions on the chat box and the host will read it for you. And definitely, this is the most important one. Don't forget to fill out the evaluation form at the end of our meeting. It will be posted po on the chat box later. I hope ready na ang lahat. I-settle na po natin ang ating sarili as we start our program proper. Okay, let's get ready for our invocation to be followed by the singing of the national anthem and our ICEP hymn. Technicals?
Rise and dawn this road. oceans rise and thunders roar, I will soar with you above the storm. Father, you are king over the flood, and I will be still and know you are God. I will be still and know you are God. I will be still and know you are God.
Mga kababayan, ang pambansang awit ng Pilipinas.
It was about creating value for society, recognizing electronics for our economy, purpose-driven. That's who we are, we work with ingenuity for nation building and the ever-evolving industry. Dynamic, globally competitive is our institute. Excellence is what we aim, yes, humanity our root. Professionalism and prestige is our root. For our country and the world, all of us are resolute. Engineering solutions that have led to many changes. Creativity, intelligence have been our tools for ages. Marching forward for the country, leading it to progress. Making sure that you and me are part of all success. One organization, or many chapters, or one profession. Walking hand in hand in the same direction. With the help of both, we'll do our mission. One organization, or many chapters, or one profession. We are family, guided by our vision, IECEP. Easy is let's build a nation. Leadership and unity and progress and development, camaraderie and ethics and meaningful engagements. Members have the chance for growth and involvement, new opportunities, inspiring lives moment. Engineering solutions that that have led to many changes. Creativity, intelligence have been our tools for ages. Marching forward for the country, leading it to progress, making sure that you and me are part of all success. One organization, our many chapters, our one profession, walking hand in hand in the same direction, with the help above we'll do our mission. One organization, our many chapters, our one profession, our family, guided by our vision, IECEP. Easy is let's build a nation. Marching to the future for the next generation, who is open to innovation, innovation. One organization, our many chapters, our one profession, walking hand in hand in the same direction, with the help above we'll do our mission. One organization, our many chapters, our one profession. We are family, guided by our vision, IECEP. Easy is let's build a nation.
Thank you. And now, again, welcome everyone. And we would like to acknowledge the presence of our esteemed colleagues from various ICEP chapters. From Manila, KSACRC, from Cavite, Rizal, Lupang, Davao, Cebu, Cebu North, NCR Northeast, Laguna, Pampanga, Palawan, North Mindanao, ICEP CAR, Batangas, Eastern Visayas, Cagayan Valley, Bicol, and ICEP Bataan. Yan later po sa mga magjo-join pa, not mentioned sa mga chapters na nabanggit, we will acknowledge you later sa part po ng ating webinar. And to give his opening remarks, let me introduce. With over 2 decades of extensive experience in the telecommunications industry, he has established himself as a leader in service assurance, performance management, and customer experience management. As the Service Assurance Chief Engineer at Etihad Etisalat Co. Mobili, he has successfully managed and optimized end-to-end customer experience management CEM tools, driving significant improvements in customer satisfaction and loyalty. His career is distinguished by technical expertise and a commitment to excellence, complemented by his role as a certified project management professional, PMP, and his ongoing pursuit of a Master of Business Administration. In recognition of his contributions to the industry, he has held prominent positions with the Institute of Electronics Engineers of the Philippines, ICEP, including Chairman of the Foreign Chapter and International Affairs Committee 2024 and Governor of the ICEP KSA CRC 2023. Under his leadership, ICEP KSA CRC was awarded the prestigious Hall of Fame League of Champions Award in 2023. He is also an active member of several ICEP national committees where he plays a pivotal role in advancing global electronics engineering and fostering organizational development. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Engineer Frederick G. Rojas, PMP, PECE, ASEAN Engineer, Chairman, ISEP Foreign Chapter and International Affairs Committee 2024, Governor ISEP KSA CRC 2023. Sir?
Good afternoon. Thank you, Engineer Joshua. I'm audible.
Yes, sir. Audible po.
Okay. Thank you so much, Engineer Joshua. Good afternoon to all of our members in the Philippines and good morning here in the Middle East. In behalf of the Foreign Chapters and International Affairs Committee, it is my great pleasure to address this esteemed gathering today. Collaboration entitled Technopreneurship for Sustainable Electronics Engineering and ICT brings together ISEP Cavite Chapter and ISEP Kingdom of Saudi Arabia Central Region Chapter to create an invaluable platform for learning and growth. This event holds special significance, particularly for our overseas Filipino workers who tirelessly contribute their skills and talents abroad. As many of us will eventually return home, equipping ourselves to technopreneurial knowledge and skills is a vital ensuring a sustainable and prosperous future. The intersection of electronics engineering and ICT with entrepreneurship opens an exciting opportunities that will empower us to thrive not only to engineers, but as innovators and business leaders. We would like to extend our heartfelt appreciation to ISEP Cavite Chapter for spearheading this collaboration. Your dedication and commitment to fostering knowledge and skills development within our community are truly commendable. To Governor Engineer Bernard Rai and to our technical speaker, Engineer Edwin Astorga, we thank you for unwavering support and dedication to ensuring the success of this event. Your leadership and commitment to the ISEP community continue to inspire and guide us all. May today's discussion sparks new ideas, ignite passions, plant seeds for future success for each and every one of us. Let us seize this opportunity to learn, grow, and build more sustainable and innovative future together. Thank you, and I wish everyone a fruitful and enriching experience today. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Engineer Frederick G. Rojas. Again po, thank you, sir. Thank you po. And also, to have his welcome remarks, allow me to introduce. He is a highly skilled and dedicated electronics engineer with a strong background in the field, with extensive experience in the healthcare and ICT industries, currently residing in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. He has a strong background in medical electronics, information and communications technology, and networking. He is known for his ability to elevate projects through impeccable after-sales service, logistics management, and administrative duties. He has worked on numerous projects for prestigious healthcare facilities, including Riyadh Care Hospital, Saudi German Hospital, and Prince Sultan Military Medical City. In addition to his engineering roles, he is an active member of the ISEP KSA CRC, where he serves as the chapter governor. He also serves as the ISEP NSS Biomedical Electronics Engineering Society Auditor and the ISEP NSS Building Electronics Auxiliary and System Society Publication Subcommittee. He is also a proficient instructor and trainer, sharing his expertise with future engineers and technicians. He holds several certifications, including Cisco Certified Network Associate and ASEAN Engineering Registered and Terumo Advanced Infusion System. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Engineer Leo R. Argoso Jr., ECE AAE, Governor ISEP Kingdom of Saudi Arabia Central Region Chapter. Sir?
Maraming salamat, Engineer Joshua Pitong from ISEP Cavite. And once again, thank you very much sa ating lahat din dito. So let's start. Can you hear me loud and clear?
Yes, sir. Clear po.
Okay. So good morning, good afternoon, and good evening from all around the world, everyone, from our ISEP members and ISEP non-members as well. Magpa-member na kayo. Andyan si ISEP Cavite, lalo pag nasa Pilipinas. So on behalf of our event for today, it is my great pleasure to welcome all of you. We are very thrilled to have you to join us as we embark on this exciting journey together. As we are now committed, as ISAP, we are committed to pushing the boundaries of innovation and excellence in the field of electronics. Today's event is a testament to our dedication to fostering collaboration, sharing knowledge, and driving progress as per our opening remarks of my dear immediate former governor and currently the chairman of the Foreign Chapters Committee, Governor Eric, already stated. We have an exciting lineup of speakers prepared for today's session for you and for our dear participants and of course our dear members as well. Maraming salamat po uli sa ISAP Cavite for inviting us. So, let us inspire, educate, and challenge what to think differently. Whether you are here to learn, network, explore new opportunities, we hope you find this event both enriching and enjoyable. I would like to extend once again a special thank you to our sponsors, our partners, our sister chapters, our volunteers, our technical committee. Alam ko, you are working very hard. Even if you are not with our chapter, I know that the quality and standard of all ISEP chapters, of all ISEP as a whole. Maraming salamat po sa inyo. Once again, welcome to the event. Let's make this a memorable, impactful experience for everyone. Mag-invite pa kayo. Maraming pong salamat.
Thank you, Engineer Leo Argoso Jr. Sir, thank you po. And now, ito na po yung exciting part of our webinar. To introduce our esteemed speaker, may I invite our very own ISEP Cavite Vice Governor for Internal Affairs, Engineer Marichel M. Chuganco, MSECE. Ma'am?
Hello, good afternoon to all of the ISEP member and also the officers and to all of our partners in this webinar. So I'm here to introduce our speaker for today. Engineer Edwin Astorga is a brewing serial technopreneur and a professional electronics engineer. He is the current CEO of Integritech Builder Solutions Incorporated, a SEC-registered corporation established in 2019. He is also the Chief Innovation Officer of A-Cube Technologies Incorporated, a technology startup company venturing on emerging technologies in the field of automation, Internet of Things, artificial intelligence, and other smart cities initiatives. He is also handling professional classes in Adamson University as an assistant professor under the College of Engineering since 2003. He finished his bachelor's degree as a Republic Act 7687 DOST Scholar Awardee in the Technological University of the Philippines, Manila, under the BS Electronics and Communications Engineering program in the year 2001. He finished his postgraduate degree in the same university with the degree of Masters of Science in Electrical Engineering, major in Electronics in 2006. He began his technical consultancy in the year 2010 up to the present, handling various companies in the field of telecommunications, biomedical systems, audio-visual systems, consumer electronics, building electronic systems, and others. He served in the ISEP as chapter governor of Cavite in the year 2018. And he is now the current national auditor of Mechatronics and Robotics Society of the Philippines, a group of academic and industry professionals dedicated to advancing robotics, mechatronics technology in the Philippines through research, development, inventions, and exchange of knowledge, experience, and expertise. He is presently taking another graduate program in the ASEAN Institute of Management under the Masters in Innovation and Business program and the co-founder of the School of IoT Philippines, an innovative learning tool for students to equip the technical skill set needed for the future of work and, and address the job mismatch between the academe and industry. Let us all welcome our resource speaker for today, Dr. Edwin Astorga, PEC.
Thank you, Ma'am Rochelle, for a very long introduction. And by the way, before we start, let me greet our Ma'am Rochelle. Happy birthday.
Thank you very much, Sir Edwin.
And would like to acknowledge also the presence of all members of different chapters here in ICEP. And without further ado, let's start our lecture. So permission to share. Okay. Can you see my slides? Okay. So, yeah. Can you hear me loudly?
Yes, sir. Clear po.
Thank you.
Waiting po for the presentation.
Okay. Yan. Is it already visible?
Yes po, sir. Yes po.
Okay. So our discussion in our webinar for today is actually sharing the technopreneurship spirit to our fellow ECE members and other professionals as well who are with us today, and at the same time to motivate our OFWs, our fellow ICEP officers, ICEP members, and ECE professionals abroad about the potential of dealing and engaging in technopreneurship, particularly related to our field in electronics engineering and ICT. So welcome to the world of Bayanihan Tech. This is a movement to harness the spirit of our Filipino community and collaboration. That's why it's called Bayanihan Tech, because it was originated from each person providing help to those in need. So this kind of webinar enables us to help and to show the potential and the things that we need to explore the crucial role of being a technopreneur in addressing the environmental and social challenges facing our world today. So in the Philippines, we can say that technopreneurship is becoming a catalyst for sustainable growth. The country is a nation of potentials, a lot of potentials, particularly in electronics and ICT sectors, and it's poised for a remarkable transformation. Having the combination of entrepreneurship and technology, it becomes a merging powerful force in driving sustainable solutions across various industries. But we're going to focus on our field, which is ECE and its allied programs. Let's define Bayanihan Tech. This Bayanihan Tech embodies the Filipino spirit of Bayanihan, the practice of communal cooperation and mutual assistance, regardless of our boundaries. This concept also fosters a collaborative ecosystem between professionals, entrepreneurs, investors, and a lot of communities to work together and develop and deploy more sustainable solutions. Sharing the purpose of this particular technology, this unites us with a shared vision of creating positive social and environmental impact through technological innovation. And with collaboration and innovation, this encourages more communication, knowledge sharing, and pooling of resources to drive innovation and impact to our community, which again engage us and give us the importance of involving communities in the design, development, and implementation of such sustainable and impactful solutions. Now, how about technopreneurship? by mere definition of technopreneurship, based on ciit.edu.ph, it is a fusion of technology and entrepreneurship, refers to the process of integrating innovations with entrepreneurial ventures to create new businesses, or if not to create, to develop new businesses out of existing businesses. And what's the key distinction from entrepreneurship? Well, not all entrepreneurs are technopreneurs, but all technopreneurs are considered as entrepreneurs because as technopreneurs, we leverage on the advanced solutions and innovation that is brought about by technology as the foundation of our business. Ibig sabihin, any business venture utilizing technology, innovation per se is a technopreneurship venture. And of course, this is very relevant to nation building because it plays a crucial role in job creation and talent development. As well as we have here our OFWs listening to us, this can be a driving force to them to come back to the Philippines and start venturing their career in technopreneurship. And with cross-border collaboration, it promotes sustainable development. It supports scalability of business with the use of innovative solutions and therefore enhances global competitiveness. Actually, we have our new law now, the Tatak Pinoy Act, that is actually promoting local produce to be exported from the Philippines abroad. So this can be maximized or exploited by us to further explore on how can we scale our respective product and services and therefore start to export and enhance our global competitiveness. Now, with our sustainability defined, you see here the 17 SDG goals. I think some of us are already familiar with this one. This is actually the integration of environmental, health, social equity, and economic vitality in order to create a thriving, healthy, and diverse communities for these generations and the coming generations that we will have for our children. Integrating this sustainability with innovation embeds ESG consideration, particularly environment, social, and corporate governance in developing new products, services, and processes. And with that ESG initiative, it involves integration of the ESG criteria into a company's decision-making operation. And now, in the Philippines, they are now starting to have assessment for the annual sustainability report of each company. So it will now be a requirement for any SEC registered company to be able to show and report to SEC their annual sustainability report and initiative that promotes environmental and social, including governance, sustainability measures. So it's very important for us to consider, particularly those who are venturing now or who will venture in technopreneurship. Now, in having our innovative idea, we have our design thinking mindset. For us who want to venture into technopreneurship, it's important for us to learn these two frameworks. The framework of innovation and design thinking mindset. Always and always, we have to first to have empathy as if that we are actually feeling in their shoes to that customers and getting their feedback. That is very fundamental for us to come up with a good design and proposal. And with that, we have to have collaboration because again, right, nowadays, it's not a solo act. It should be a collaborative, should be a multidisciplinary. So we can gather backgrounds and viewpoints to emerge solutions out of the diverse professionals that we have. During my time in AIM, I've been grouped with non-professional ECE like accountants, lawyers, businessmen. So I was able to collaborate with them and gather important points to be able to come up with a new and innovative solutions. And of course, after that, we have to embrace experimentation in terms of prototyping, because that is an integral part of innovation as we continue to improve, iterate our product and services. And of course, chat talk is cheap. That's why we should show our product or services by having visuals, sharing our experiences, telling our stories to communicate to our fellow professionals. It's not enough for us just to tell a story. This should come from our own experiences. And take note that this is a journey, so be mindful of the process, because as we go with the process, we can have more information that is needed for our goals to be achieved. And with that, also we have the clarity of our craft, meaning you have to have a coherent vision and turn up from these particular problems to inspire others and further fuel ideation or idea generation. And of course, design thinking is biased more about doing than thinking. So focus on doing, focus on implementation after we have already got the feedback from our target customer segment. And the other framework that we have here the Venn diagram of innovation. We have three main circle, and intersecting it becomes the innovation. Which is important among the three? I say it's equally important, except that I say that the first thing to do and to consider is always the customer desirability. Even we have the technology, even that this particular product or service is viable or business viable, it cannot be an innovation without the target customer segment. Without somebody buying it, availing it, there is no innovation. Innovation should come from what is desirable to users. And that also overlaps with the design thinking mindset. We have to have empathy to our target customer. We have to have clear communication with them to be able to get the customer profile. What I mean by customer profile is what are the jobs to be done for the customers, and let us solve that through the technology that we have. And that comes second, the feasibility of the product or service. What is possible with the technology? Is technology available for that particular customer need? Then after that, is this product or services profitable, viable? So interjecting all of this, we will have our innovation. At the same time, we will have our new product services. Now, the need for sustainable electronics and ICT. I have here three to share to you, though there are many. The first one is the e-waste challenge. We all know that with the proliferation of the different electronic devices, including solar panels, it leads to a massive amount of e-waste, often ending up in landfills or even illegally exported to developing countries. And with that, we have a looming problem in terms of this waste challenge. At the same time, the depletion of our valuable resource, because again, different electronics equipment and devices relies heavily on precious metals. That's why one problem also is mining, because we're taking our metals out of the mining industry. And with that, it puts strain on finite supplies and contributing further to environmental degradation. And also, the digital divide, inequality still being visible for other communities, particularly those in the last mile areas. That creates a digital divide, hindering further development and social progress in their areas. We may not notice it, but as we go along with our study, we have noticed a lot of last mile areas still, unmet. They have their needs unmet, and that is now the focus of many startups today, to serve the underserved. Now let's have the data statistics illustrating the scope of opportunity. Well, based on statistics, 2.2 million metric tons actually is already higher. No? The figure is now higher than this, generated annually. Then with that, the Philippines presents a significant challenge and opportunity for innovative e-waste recycling and resource recovery solutions. Again, later on, we will know what are the initiatives that is being done to prevent or to resolve this kind of challenges. Second one is renewable energy. 35% target for RE in the power mix by 2030. Technopreneurs in the energy sector plays a crucial role in achieving this goal of creating more renewable energy sources to have a sustainable energy future. We will not be relying heavily on fossil fuel. That's why we have different startups now engaging in the development of renewable energy. This actually is one of the viable and, I should say, desirable field that we can venture into in the near future. And last is internet penetration. Well, we are lucky we have internet, but actually there's still Filipinos, a lot of Filipinos, around 1/3 or maybe 1/4 of the Filipinos still have problems with internet access. And the government is actually helping to have this kind of ICT solutions by launching different government programs by LGU to provide and bridge that digital divide. Okay, now we have us being technopreneurs, or to those who would like to be technopreneurs. This now becomes our role into translating these ideas, these demands, these needs into real-world solution. Again, we have already identified some of the market needs. We can now start developing innovative business models and leverage this kind of technologies that we have to be able to drive positive change in the community. And we have the conduct of market research to understand further the unmet needs of the customer and the pain points related to sustainability in our field of engineering. And we have to develop the second stage, sustainable business models. And this should be aligned with the sustainability principles that I mentioned a while ago. This could involve adopting a circular economy approaches, PaaS or product as a service, or developing green ICT services that prioritizes resource efficiency. And to scale up, to make it more impactful, once this model is established, we can actually repeat it and replicate it and focus on bringing it on other areas to reach a wider audience and maximize its impact to community. This requires securing funding. Well, there are a lot of funders that are available. We can have funding from our angel investors, our government, our venture capitalists, etc. And of course, we can also do that by building strategic partnerships and developing a strong marketing strategy. Well, our training as ECE, our engineers, do not have a strong marketing acumen. So we might as well partner with those who have this kind of marketing skills. Now, regarding e-waste, how do we solve, or what is the current solutions being brought about by our startup technopreneurs and businesses? Again, to answer the challenge of this gigantic e-waste that is being produced by the proliferation of our different electronic devices and equipment, some companies like Pedeco, Energia are leading the way by collecting processing, and safely disposing of e-waste, extracting valuable materials in the process. This creates jobs and reduces the environmental impact of e-waste. PEDECO, in particular, is actually an initiative by the Climate Change Commission, and Energia is one of the startup company. They are both dealing with waste and converting from trash to power by converting it into different byproducts, like we have reclaimed water, we have methane, we have biofuel, and we also have biochar. Well, of course, reclaimed water can be used for non-potable uses, like in toilets and other gardening purpose. The methane can be used to have a sustainable powering up of the machine that will burn, or that will incinerate, or that will convert this waste into usable byproducts. Of course, biofuel, by further refining, we can use that to power our generators and other machines. And biochar is used as an additive for bricks and non-height and bricks and other building solutions or building equipment or building materials. Now, what is the opportunity? Well, two companies are not enough to venture into this. That's why the potential for innovative e-waste solution is still vast. Right now, an Australian company is coming into our country to provide another e-waste solution. So why not make it Filipino, us Filipinos, to venture into this one? So this is the challenge for us, to start up and focus on this kind of challenge. So startups can also focus on urban mining, refurbishing electronics, and developing cutting-edge recycling technologies. These solutions does not only address waste problem, but of course it generates jobs, generates other companies that will serve the company, and therefore it provides more economic opportunities. Another one, so we have our green electronics, green communication, and green ICT. So for ICT, we have our green electronics that focuses on developing energy efficient devices using circular economy and developing more materials, implementing sustainable manufacturing processes. Some of this includes, of course, our different devices that is energy efficient, powered by solar or other renewable energy. We have also our sustainable materials made up of recycled systems. Also, we have the design for durability, repairability, and recyclability. There is one trade now being introduced by Korea here, which is what we call remanufacturing. Remanufacturing is the way of not really bringing the new equipment here, but just having some rehabilitation, but replacing materials that already wear and tear by new materials, but not the entire. By doing so, it actually makes it more sustainable because it lessens the waste that's being produced by these different industries. So Korea now is venturing into the Philippines to provide this kind of business, remanufacturing business. So again, we can, as Filipinos, let's explore, collaborate, and let's see if we can. I know we can. No? We can venture into this kind of business in the future. We have also green communication. It seeks to minimize the carbon footprint of different telecommunications, infrastructure, and networks. If you happen to watch Tim Cook's video in the Apple, no? They are now dealing with some sustainability efforts to become energy efficient. And of course, they are now being powered by renewable energy sources. And they are now also practicing sustainable e-waste management solution. The same with are in our country, in our different industries here, we will be dealing with this one in the near future because this will be part of our sustainability report to maintain our status as corporation. About green ICT, we have our cloud computing and virtualization to reduce the hardware footprint. So we may not produce more equipment, but just have efficient software and optimize it for energy efficiency. And of course, we can employ different technologies that can maximize the data storage and management solution such that we will not be needing more hardware just to store a particular big data that we have here in our respective industry. So some of our case studies of Filipino entrepreneurs or technopreneurs, I have mentioned Energia. It's a e-waste recycling and responsible disposal. Imagine 100% waste becomes 10% before being brought to landfill. So that's 90% removal of conventional waste to landfill. So imagine the effect of that particular e-waste scheme. And by that, it reduces environmental pollution because many landfills will bring leaches, and thus it will pollute our land. So it promotes, therefore, also resource recovery. For Regen, this Regen is a startup company that focuses on the last mile areas. They're putting up microgrid solar to different underserved communities, and they can provide you from 500 kilowatts to megawatt solutions using microgrid solutions. And that being said, it decreases now carbon footprint and promotes energy independence, particularly for those who are underserved in different islands as well. And of course, we have Solex. I have met the owners of Solex. They develop energy efficient software, application, and cloud services. What they do is they actually sell the different industries cheaper power by being a retail energy producer. So they are looking for cheaper energy producing or generating company, and they will offer it to the particular client. And by that being said, it optimizes resource utilization and reduces energy consumption. Actually, Solex is boasting about 25% to 30% energy savings. So imagine if you're paying around 1 million, just be paying around 600,000 monthly. That's big savings for the company. So I will show to you a video. I should have 3 video, but isa lang yung nakuha ko about one of these case studies of Filipino technopreneurs. So please watch.
Excuse me, Sir Edwin, no audio.
Have you seen the video? Nakita mo yung video? Nakita ba?
Yes po, sir.
Yes, thank you. Okay, so that is actually the AVP of our startup company, which is Energia. So sharing to you some of our pictures here during our demo day with our primary mentor, Rico Camus, one of the leading design thinking strategists, and also one of our own, no, Filipino entrepreneur that introduced the what do you call this, the internet connectivity, particularly in using Elon Musk's antenna, if you're familiar with that. So Professor Machiku was our mentor also for this one. And here we have with some angel investors that's willing to invest in our product, which is the portable waste to energy management solution. So actually the story of that is we have been engaged with one of our group mate, which is actually focusing on what to do with society, how to make society better. And we come up with energy management or energy producing solution. But she told us that about the waste. So we come up with the idea of converting waste into energy. The problem is there's already an existing one, which is the PEDECO. But what we did is to innovate it, because the problem with PEDECO that time is there are few waste to energy facilities and they are very far. So what we did is make it near. So with the truck that we're going with this portability, we can make it near the source of waste, and thus it can cater a lot of waste producing industries and converting it into usable byproducts that was already mentioned a while ago. So yeah, so another one is we have our challenge on increasing energy demands while minimizing its reliance on fossil fuel. And the challenge is to promote sustainable energy solution. And that means cleaner and more secure. Now, entrepreneurs are leading the charge in this kind of energy development. These Filipino companies like Ebatec, Greenergy Solar, are building large-scale solar farms, solar-powered hydropower plants, which means that, how do they do that? They have this water bringing up to the hillside of the area, and then the power being stored up by using solar, and then the potential energy brought about by this stored water up will be brought down and will be using hydropower technology. So imagine the sustainability of this kind of technology. Solar power in the morning and then hydropower in the evening. And it also provides solar panel installations for homes and businesses. This transition to renewable energy is crucial in reducing carbon emissions and mitigates climate change. Now, the vision is to have the Philippines aiming for a 35% share in its power mix by 2030. It is renewable energy. Question, is it already enough? It's not. So I think this is another one that we can venture into, fellow ECEs, about dealing with kind of renewable energy production. So as entrepreneurs, we are well positioned to play a pivotal role in achieving this goal, entering the market to create a more sustainable energy for the country. We're not just, being viable, we're also helping the community to become more sustainable. At the same time, we're doing good for society. So it's a social enterprise for us. Now, how about the innovations for a sustainable future? Again, pasok pa din yung innovation, energy efficiency. We also have, like the companies like Greenergy I mentioned ago, they adapted and developed a system where refrigerator, other appliances, including special purpose vehicle, yung mga e-vehicle natin, they can now provide you with e-charging using solar power. And thus, imagine that you're charging your e-vehicle using solar power. So it's removing the fossil fuel in the equation. But again, this is still on its implementation stage. We can still catch up and, be a player on this type of playing field. How about smart homes? Well, in smart homes, Green Ants, for example, they provide energy efficient systems and smart home features. We are already familiar with what smart home is because it is a kind of conserving or preserving energy in our homes. And it's actually a kind of a crossover potential of different expertise in electronics and other sectors. And sustainable manufacturing. Now, I know a company now that is using recycled materials, reducing waste, and like the Inspect Technologies, they are now using the AMR, automotive mobile robot, in their manufacturing plants. They have now being very visible now in the particular field, and they're planning to do more and explore more opportunities with that. So again, with other companies also as well, they are now using this circular economy in minimizing the environmental footprint of different devices, particularly our electronic devices. Now, about smart cities. The challenge for smart cities, we need to have sustainable, efficient solution such as traffic congestion. Alam niyo yan, traffic is always a problem, not only physically but mentally. Pag nata-traffic tayo, we're being stressed. So how can we address such kind of challenges? Of course, energy consumption and with the increasing population, waste management. Smart cities offer a promising approach to these challenges. Now, there are some companies already that are developing cutting-edge technologies for smart city applications. Some companies like ACube Technologies, Inspect Technologies, Intragitech, my own company, are creating IoT platforms. This is in partnership with universities like the Perpetual Health Molino, and of course with government, with having some grants. So welcome ang government to have grants. Mamaya lang, magpatulong tayo kay Ma'am Marichelle paano magpakakuha ng grant because Dean Marichelle is very helpful for this kind of endeavors, our Cavite chapter vice president. And these platforms enable us to develop smart traffic management system, energy efficient building solutions, and environmental monitoring platforms. And with that smart city in mind, it's gaining traction now in terms of there is now a demand for innovative technologies and solutions. Meron ngayong demand for smart poles. Smart poles is actually a multi-pole covering a lot of uses, including air quality monitoring, traffic monitoring, emergency monitoring, flood monitoring, and many more others by just a integration of a smart pole. And these technologies now can, of course, optimize resource utilization by having one pole only. Imagine one pole, ang dami niya mga gamit na, no? Enhances public safety because may camera na doon na may gamit tayong AI for data analytics that can detect anomalies using cameras and improve the quality of life for citizens. Before, until now, medyo hirap tayo mag-measure ng air quality with the smart poles that we're going to put up. This more interactive, more real-time, so we can readily adjust, we can readily respond if there is a problem with the air pollution that we have. Now, how about the ICT? I just mentioned here 3 companies that is engaged in sustainable ICT. Senti AI is harnessing the power of AI and machine learning in energy utilization of buildings. Imagine mo, ang one building, they are using 500 to 1 megawatt. Imagine that. So why not make it more optimized and save energy and thus helping our government our community to save more energy. And this technology that Senti AI has is making a real difference in reducing energy wastage. And of course, again, promoting sustainable future. Impact Hub Manila. This is a platform for tech startups focusing on social and environmental impact. One of their notable use cases is Square Labs, if you're familiar, offers online data science training addressing the digital skills gap of Filipinos and empowering individuals for the future workforce. Tanong, is this enough? Not yet. So we can still come up with our own kind of innovation focusing on these challenges. And of course, data-driven solution, Filipino tech entrepreneurs are using data analytics to identify trends, optimize resource allocation, and develop targeted solutions. This is very critical in enabling us to address complex challenges and problems to drive us into a more viable and feasible and desirable future. Now, what's the future of Binance Tech? Well, we are all familiar with this. We are all ECE here. So AI, blockchain, and IoT. So with the integration of this, all of this, we can actually fuel our community with, new and sustainable and lifelong, technologies that will enable us to optimize our resources, make ourselves accountable, because as engineers, we are under our oath to promote sustainable future as engineers. And of course, to be efficient in different kinds of approaches. Now, what are the ecosystem for green technopreneurship? So if you notice, fellow ECE, I am driving you towards green engineering because there's no other way but to go green. We have a thriving ecosystem for green and technopreneurship. And this requires collaborative efforts involving, of course, let's not lose hope with our government, where they have the policy and incentives that's being given to us. Government like the UST can help us to in dealing with our innovative solutions to make it to promote it and to make it into reality. Just have to tap the right people to be able for us to gain traction in this kind of endeavors. Again, I mentioned yung isa sa mga bago nilang batas, yung Tatak Pinoy Act, that they are now prioritizing locally produced product or services compared to imported. And that will mean government buying from us compared to buying abroad. So that is a very good idea. It's already a law. And we just have to wait for the implementation. Hopefully, this will be implemented very well. By doing so, it will promote further more businessmen, Filipino businessmen, to venture into technopreneurship. Of course, like what we're doing now, we're actually fostering innovation by linking with the research in academics, particularly with different universities like University of Perpetual Molino, having our local IoT board being produced. And hopefully by next year, we can produce already a local IoT board in the Philippines and also abroad. And incubation and acceleration program, well, there are government and there are NGO that is providing incubation centers and acceleration facilities. And this provides startups for their essential support, marketing, expertise in terms of viability, visibility, etc., mentorship, funding, if there is a need for funding, networking opportunities to meet more people, like-minded people, and of course, to help these startups grow and scale their businesses. I know of some incubation center. I think we have some in Manila and also in Cavite, and there are more being put up. No, more incubation centers and acceleration facilities that will help us. Lalo yung mga plano pa lang, no? Those who plans to become a technopreneur, who wants to come home and venture into their business. Let's collaborate and let's see what can we explore and grow, and let's scale up our businesses. And of course, let us not forget investor network. We connect with impact investors and venture capitalists. Kanina doon sa I mentioned a while ago, we have met an angel investor who would like to invest in our project. So we are really positive that we just have to start our venture, our business, our solution, our idea, and let's implement it. And along the side, we can connect and we can meet some impact investors and venture capitalists. I have met also one philanthropist who is committed to provide funding for our project. So it is not only for us; it is open for others as well. So let us, continue to promote technopreneurship and thus accelerating the growth of different green technology ventures. Now the challenge to bridge the gap and of course empower communities. Well, again, with the government support, but still limited, no? On the internet connectivity, particularly on the islands, people on the islands or the last mile areas. This gap hinders access to education, healthcare, and economic opportunities. This is actually where we, again, ECE, can bridge the gap. So let us have empathy. Let us in their shoes, engage with this type of people, and as we engage with them, we will come up with what do we call technopreneurship solutions. No? So let's have like education.ph. So they have seen the problem with the educational resource and career guidance to students. Thus they have now their own platform to serve and to empower these students to reach their full potential. And of course, when you have no solution, you can now create opportunity and opportunity upon opportunity, such as developing affordable internet connectivity solution, digital literacy programs, mobile apps, all designed to enhance social impact or societal impact. These solutions are also, in a way, democratizing, making itself available to all, the access to information and opportunities, and thus, with democratizing this, it empowers individuals, communities, of course, all the Filipino that we love as our nation. And the vision is, of course, for a digitally inclusive Philippines, where everyone, all of us, has access to the transformative power of technology. And technopreneurs are at the forefront of this kind of vision, ensuring that no one is left behind. Now, key takeaways for some of our Filipino technopreneurs that I have talked to. So, local solutions for local problems. We don't burn the entire, or we don't boil the entire ocean. We just need to have a small problem and focus on it, and create a solution out of it, out of this one. We cannot solve everything, but we can solve one problem at a time. And in case of any opportunity, we can create opportunity from that problem. But again, there should be a local solution. We cannot solve a global solution. Let's start local, okay? And we provide local solutions, local problems. And then once we have already that solution, it's time to scale it. So before scaling it, we should have tests. and prove the feasibility, viability, and desirability of that solution. Once it's already good to go, it's time to scale it and evaluate its impact to more people. And as we go along with scalability and evaluating the impact, we will need more partnerships, more collaboration, because successful technopreneurs is not doing it alone. It's not a lone wolf idea. It's a collaborative effort with government agencies, with academic institutions, and other stakeholders as well. And that is meant to make a more powerful impact and drive for systemic change. This kind of collaboration, this kind of partnership creates a very thriving ecosystem for venturing to more opportunities upon opportunities, leading to a more sustainable technology ventures. For young entrepreneurs, I have seen some young professionals here, like Engineer Pitong, I think, very young engineer, so like us also. So we have, I can give you 3 points. Una-una, well, young people like you, like us, are known for their innovative thinking. Balikot ang utak natin, no? Imaginative tayo. So why not make use of it? And of course, it's not enough. You have to be willing. That willing should be consistent, because, you know, the dream without consistency is only a dream. We have to be consistent. And consistency and willingness to challenge the status quo, no? The conventional approach. And this kind of challenge can lead us to groundbreaking solutions in the tech sector. It's not enough for us to just to go with the flow. We have to challenge. We have to look for disruptive technologies. In a way, sabi nga, we have to be disruptive innovators. It's not easy. Easier said than done. But with your consistency, your driving force, your willingness to challenge this kind of status quo, it is possible, highly possible, that you can lead to groundbreaking solutions in any particular field of your concern. And we cannot do that without employ ourselves, without filling ourselves with literacy, particularly digital literacy. So we have to learn the language of digital transformation. And we have to learn and we have to practice it. And thus, practicing it will give us skills. And that skills will enable us to be a digitally native and possess a deep understanding of technology. And of course, we will now be ready to address the different challenges that we are facing in our community. Of course, we need to have some coding. So how can we code if we don't learn how to code? O kaya, if you don't know how to code, you collaborate with those people who wants to code and is ventured or in is focusing or marunong sila mag-coding, collaborate tayo ron, and then let's do it. So that's how to do it. And of course, passion for change. Alam natin yan. Young people are passionate for change. They're driven by strong desire. The problem with some people, young people, is the consistency. So the problem should be, you have to be consistent in your desire, in your passion, to make a positive impact on the community before on the world. So again, start local before you go and scale. And of course, when you start and you continue your desire to make a positive impact, to provide a social enterprise business, it fosters a commitment for more viable, more sustainable future and practices. And of course, it will open to a more ethical business models, meaning you are earning money while having minimal effect on environment and on the people. Now, what's the future? The future is a vision for sustainable growth. It's still ongoing, as I have said earlier. It's not late for us to venture into it. So why not embrace the principle of circular economy, social entrepreneurship? Let us look for social problems. Marami yan, no? We have a lot of social problems and government support, and that we can continue to create innovative solutions that will benefit both the environment and society. Of course, this is a business, so we need to make sure it's viable. So it should be a two-prong approach. You have to be viable. At the same time, it should solve a social problem. So this particular vision is also dedicated to the unwavering entrepreneurial spirit that is shaping a more equitable and prosperous future for the Philippines. And for conclusion, sustainability is not a destination. It is a journey. So I might add one more. Innovation and technopreneurship are the vehicles that will take us there. And with that, I'm Edwin, your fellow ECE, willing to collaborate and explore opportunities with you, particularly our friends abroad and local. Thank you and mabuhay.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Sir Edwin, for that wonderful presentation, for providing us, sir, us with a wealth of information about sustainability, technopreneurship, and what are the things to consider, and ano pa yung mga dapat namin gawin to really start up to contribute sa sustainability when it comes to electronics and ICT. Again, sir, we are grateful sa pinrovide niyo sa amin. And now, it is time for our honored participants to have their inquiries. You may raise your hand. Anyone? So ito po, sir. We have here on our chat box from ICEP Manila, Sir Raymart Aurora. Hi, sir. Question. This may sound like motivated by profit, but I just wanna ask, are there any Pinoy unicorn startup companies, or at least we can say very profitable startup companies that we can be inspired with?
Well, meron tayong mga kilala dyan. Una-una, if you know Dodi Banato, I don't need to explain the person. One of the unicorn is yung ating Filipino that becomes now also one of the incubator in our tech ventures. So if you're familiar with Dodi Banata, I think Parmakuwa siya, no? And there's other person, but well, with the question of it's repeatable, again, innovation cannot be sustained without viability. So, but first, it should be desirable. No? Imagine if you have a product by the people and you have it's feasible, but there's no fund to continue operation. So, by itself, it's not going to be sustainable. So, for a particular product or service to be sustainable, it should also be viable. And well, the profit or the revenue does not need to be that high. You know? You just have to make it more to support the company for its operation, and to also, of course, to provide more.
Thank you po, sir, for answering mga yan sa mga unicorn startup companies. Sige po, you can raise your hand or you can type questions. Yan. Thank you po. Sige po, any question pa? Sige po, basahin ko lang po yung some of the comments natin on our chat box. The ICT has mentioned that deepfake is the most immediate threat for the election to come and are currently finding ways to counter it. Is there already a ready supplier available in the Philippines? Yan, from Sir Leo po pala na question.
Well, I'm quite sure right now we are having this kind of webinar. Some are already venturing to become one of the what you say a company that will resolve that particular problem, because the thing that you have mentioned, this one, the fake Sir Governor Leo, is actually a start that there's a problem that you have seen. So once you have the problem, it's now time to explore if we are capable of venturing into it to become a business in the future. Well, this has become a business not just to earn, but to solve this problem with deepfakes. So how to do it? With our, well, wag nating hayaan ang mga IT o mga ibang engineering ang mag-solve niyan. Dapat tayo mga ECE, magtulong-tulong tayo. So we have to explore, what do you call this? Look for our skill set, no? That can solve this particular problem with deepfakes. And baka maunahan tayo. So kailangan pag may idea na tayo, explore na natin. Kasi sabi ko nga, it's not enough to have the idea. You should be willing. You should be willing to engage on it. Not on a short period, but for a long period of time to make it innovative and to make it impactful.
Thank you po, sir. Some of our comments. That's awesome. Very informative presentation. Thank you so much po, Sir Edwin from Peralta, Silvestre, Cavite. And sir, another question po natin from Sir Marvin De Pedro. Ask ko lang, what are your thoughts on RA 11-337? Now, correct me if I'm wrong po, if ito po ba is yung an act providing benefits and programs to strengthen, promote, and develop po the Philippine startup ecosystem. So yun po sir, what are your thoughts po doon sa RA 11-337?
Well, I actually mentioned about the Tatak Pinoy Act. So I'm not sure if it's the same, but this Republic Act is more of the Innovative Startup Act. Again, hindi ganun kadali, no? But with the right people that we're going to explore, kaya nga importante yung collaboration and network, we can tap this kind of law for to our advantage. Nga lang, we cannot do it if we don't start networking, looking for the right people, like we have in our national board. Maybe they have the connection for those who are involved in this kind of yung mga taga DOST o yung mga taga DTI. Then we can connect with them, and the act alone is very very enticing, but it will remain that way unless we act upon it.
Okay, thank you po sir. I hope is nasagot. Sige po, for some of other questions pa po, meron pa po ba tayo na mag-chat po, or you can raise your hand po to direct the question po kay sir. Sige po. Last two before we proceed to the presentation or giving of certificate. I think sir is wala na po, meaning to say na clear po ano yung mga need na gawin to contribute again sa sustainable development and to become a technopreneurship or technopreneur na mag-startup. Again sir, thank you po. And as a gesture of gratitude toward the certificate of recognition, may we invite Engineer Leo R. Argoso Jr., ECE, AAEE, Governor of ICEP, KSA, CRC, to award the certificate of recognition to Engineer Edwin Astorga. Sir?
Ako pala yun. Kala ko
Yes sir, kayo po.
Sir, thank you, Gob. Thank you.
Thank you, Sir Joshua. I'm quite honored to present this certificate of recognition. Pakita lang. Ay, andyan na. Gob! Kadog Erwin! Ngiti tayo para maganda sa ano. Anyways, let's start. This certificate of recognition is presented to Engineer Edwin L. Astorga, PECE, for imparting his knowledge and expertise as resource speaker for ISEP Cavite Bayanihan Tech, a technopreneurship webinar for sustainable electronics, engineering, and ICT, in collaboration with ISEP KACRC and ACube Technologies Incorporated, given this 21st day of September 2024 via Zoom online. Signed by Engineer Bernard G. Viray, PEC, ACP, Governor of ISEP Cavite, and of course, yours truly, Engineer Leo R. Argosto Jr., EC, Governor of ISEP, KACRC. Maraming salamat po. We are very honored to have you here. And more, we would like to hear you more to come. Baka meron kayong PEC trainings dyan.
Kay Gov po yun, kay Gov Bernard.
Kay Gov Bernard pa yun. We are always very supportive to our local chapters. Once again, thank you for the hosting, for the steering committee for this event. Maraming po salamat, Sir Edwin.
Salamat po.
Thank you, sir. Thank you po, Gov. A virtual round of applause po for Engineer Edwin. Again, sir, thank you po. And to present for our sponsor to share more about their company and its offerings, please welcome Engineer Jasper Maynard P. Aranya, CEO, ACube Technologies, Inc. Sir?
Yeah, hello. Good afternoon, everyone. Ayan, so first of all, thank you for ISEP Cavite, ISEP PSA, and all of the people who are behind this event po natin, no, uh, sa ating event ngayon, sa ating talk, no? And first of all, thank you for Sir Edwin for sharing his expertise, especially in technopreneurship. It's very, very aligned to what we are doing here in ACube Technologies Inc. So I just have a short time to introduce our company. Actually, this company is also a startup company. I'm also an electronics engineer by profession. So this is also a startup company that started last year, in which our goal really is to empower people by enabling technologies here in the Philippines. So we are ACube Technologies Inc. With our proprietary School of IoT Philippines. So what we are, so actually our company is a specializing in emerging technologies. As of now, what the emerging technologies that we are tackling is IoT and AI robotics. So we want to bridge the gap of skills of our students to the industry within these emerging technologies. I think Sir Edwin was also clear about what will be the future of work for the next 3 to 5 years or 5 to 10 years natin po, no? That's why we really want to create an environment here in the Philippines wherein we can bridge that gap, that our students would be, and of course our professionals, would be globally competitive, learning about these emerging technologies and with our services that we are provided as a company. Again, we are also a tech company. We also are a startup company. We just started last year with this endeavor as electronics engineer because we really saw that we need to have we need to bridge that gap really in terms of education. So we are mainly in the educational sector, but we also do the industrial sector for Internet of Things here in the Philippines. So the main proprietary product that we have is for what we call the School of IoT Kit. So the School of IoT Kit is an all-in-one kit that makes use of our unique board, our School of IoT board, which is an all-in-one board used for Internet of Things implementation. So it is partnered with our IoT Snackbox website or web application for visualization of data and other controls for the board itself. So the main comparison of this to our normal Arduino and Raspberry Pi microcontrollers is that this is an all-in-one board powered by ESP32, wherein all the peripherals and all of the sensors are inbuilt, but also you can extend this to more advanced more projects. So this is what we offer for our School of IoT Kit. Comes with also our boot camps and skills training. Again, we want to bridge that gap of technology gap with our students in terms of emerging technology. That's why we introduce IoT boot camps to our students. So this is one of our dynamic relay event, which we introduce the IoT to our students, the Internet of Things to our students. And the goal here is at the end of this 3-day bootcamp, they were able to create their own IoT projects already. So even if you're just a student, a curious beginner, or a professional, you can also participate on our boot camps. And thankfully, with the partnership with ICEP Cavite, we'll be able to have or launch our boot camps with partnership with ICEP Cavite in this chapter, in this region. And also that we also do skills competition. Actually, we are partnering also with the Mechatronics and Robotics Society of the Philippines. The MRSP is also the arm of the Philippines for robotics and automation for industry and educational sector. And we are its partner for the IoT skills competition here in the Philippines. So last June, we have successfully launched the first national IoT skills competition during the MRSP event. And next year we'll be also sponsoring also that event. And not just that, we just don't do skills competition locally, we also do internationally. So the international skills competition is supported by our international partners, and it will be attended by many schools in the Southeast Asian region, and it will be executed in this November in Malaysia. Kasi last year po, ginadap siya dito sa Philippines in Adamson University. So this year for the ICIoT 2024, it will be done on Malaysia. And another one for our transformative robot is the first AI transformative robot here in the Philippines. It's kind of like very different to other robotics kit that you have or you saw on the market. This is a robot that can easily execute AI and machine learning algorithms for any type of application. And this is also a transformer robot because it can transform into 7 Tetris shapes depending on the application that we want it to use. So we call this Morphe with our partner in Singapore University Technology and Design. So with them, we created this robot and to be able to accelerate our students' learning in terms of artificial intelligence and machine learning and also advanced robotics. So we have what we call here the Smorty One, which is a very omnidirectional robot also. And it also have a stackable application wherein you can apply or you can add any more application to it. So our target here is more on the application side. We can use it for research, even as young as elementary students can also perform programming by the use of this Smorty Imaginary, an online simulation platform. So really want our students to learn and be competitive in terms of using robots and various applications. And we also do robotics bootcamp to train our participants in terms of this artificial intelligence robot and transformative robot. And skills competition, not just locally again, but also international skills competition. And not just that, we also help our schools and universities to develop their own smart laboratory or school of IoT laboratory setup. Wherein from the pre-deployment to the post-deployment, we are there to support and help those universities to come up with their smart laboratories for the upscaling of their students in preparation for the new emerging technologies. And so with that, one of our success stories is our IoT Lab Reading Center in University Perpetual System Delta, wherein this is the first IoT Lab Training and Research Center in the Philippines, funded by the DOST Fisher. So we are really in partnership with them and to really push forward the emerging technology, especially the IoT, Internet of Things in the Philippines. So we have partnered with several universities already here in the Philippines and more collaboration to come. Actually, we are also having a collaboration with some partners in the Middle East, and maybe later on siguro makapunta rin kami sa KSA for our IoT education. And yeah, we are really keen to partner with people who are really want to pursue and make forward our emerging technology education here in the Philippines. And with that, thank you for your attention. And if you want to know more about our company and if you want to partner with us, kindly contact us with this information. Thank you again for inviting us here and sponsoring this event for the ISO Community Chapter kay Governor and sa KSA din. Very, very thank you po sa lahat.
All right. Thank you po, Engineer Jasper Maynard P. Aranya, CEO eCube Technologies Inc. And yan, to move forward for our event, here are our upcoming events and gatherings. For our announcements, first, approved with 4 CPD points. That will be on September 25, 2024, 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. via Zoom. Ang webinar topic po, Defeating Business Email, Compromise BEC and Spear Phishing, People, Process, and Technology Security Best Practices. Register po on the link. Pwede nyo pong screenshot yan for you to have the copy. Register on the link provided or scan the QR code. Next, approved with 8 CPD points on September 28, 2024. Bali next week na po those 2 consecutive webinars na naka-line up from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Back-to-back po yan. Trends in Solar PV Engineering with Engineer Jethro Bruce Andal, and for High-Speed Ethernet Technology with Engineer Ian Urmaneta. Yan, register po kayo, kindly log in to your MyICEP account and register with a registration fee of 300 pesos. And this one, next month, this coming October na po will be our Cybersecurity Awareness Month webinar series starting from October 5, 12, 19, and 26 with applied CPD points. Kindly log in lang rin po to your MyICEP and register for the lined up webinar series for our Cybersecurity Awareness Month. And last but definitely not the least, and 6th ICEP GCC Convention and First Leaders Summit, Digital Synergy Unleashing Sustainable Innovations on October 11 to 12, 2024, Steigenberger Hotel, Doha, Qatar, hosted by ICEP Kuwait Chapter and co-hosted by ICEP Qatar Chapter. And next, I'm sorry, we still have one last for our announcement, our 74th Annual General Membership Meeting and Convention, theme, Legacy of Excellence, Sustaining Innovation for Global Impact. That will be on November 28 to 30, 2024 at SMX Convention Center Clark, SM City Clark Complex, Mabalacat City, Pampanga. Register now through your MyICEP account. And next, follow our ICEP Cavite FB page and YouTube channel. And those our upcoming events and gatherings na nakaline na before we totally end the 2024. And for now, as we reach the end of our today's webinar, it is my honor to invite our very own ICEP Cavite Governor, Engineer Bernard Giveray, PECE, ACPE, to have his closing remarks. Sir?
So thank you, Engineer Joshua Titong, for hosting our webinar this afternoon. A pleasant afternoon again to all our 160 plus participants po, no, from different chapters, not only in the Philippines but also in the Middle East. Yeah, so thank you for joining with us on this afternoon's webinar. To our esteemed resource speaker, Sir Edwin Astorga, for having this entrepreneurship webinar, Sustainable Electronics Engineering and ICT. Thank you for providing this webinar to us, sir. I hope I was able to get some of the key highlights and objectives for this afternoon. So we were able to recognize the significance of Bayanihan for joint innovation and sustainable development within the Philippine context. We are also able to determine the main sustainability issues such as e-waste management, energy consumption, resource depletion, and social impacts that the electronics engineering and ICT sectors in the Philippines are now confronting. And finally, we are able to identify areas where green electronics, communications, and ICT services may innovate sustainably. Special thanks as well to our chapters who are able to collaborate for this afternoon's webinar, to ICEP Foreign Chapters and Internal Affairs Committee Chair, headed by Engineer Eric Rojas. Good afternoon, sir. and to Kingdom of Saudi Arabia Central Region Chapter Governor Sir Leo Orgoza. So thank you for having with us this afternoon. And finally, to our sponsor, sponsoring this event, engineer of A-Cube Technologies Incorporated, Engineer Jasper Maynard Arayas. Maraming salamat for all this collaboration. And ISEP Cavite is not just only providing technical webinars for us, so we also provide such event like this, technopreneur webinars, especially to our OFWs working abroad. So I hope you learn a lot from this and stay in touch. And we hope you continue all our upcoming events lined up for the following week and this October as we end up the year for ISEP. So thank you again, everyone.
Thank you, Gov. Bernard. By the way, lahat po ng in-announce kanina are applied po with CPD points. Again, sir, thank you. And let us make this webinar a memorable one. Let us have our photo opportunities po sa lahat ng ating Zoom participants. At technicals, I think magkakaroon po tayo dito ng mga first, second batch, third. Kasi medyo marami po tayo. Sige po. Sige, technicals, you can command or magbilang kayo.
16 pages yan.
Ang dami, sir.
Open na lang po.
100 eh. 50 pages.
Cameras natin, sir. So, pa-count na lang po, Sir Josh.
Okay po, sige. At the count of 1, 2, 3, smile lang po tayo. 8 lang po. Okay, 1 pa lang po ito. Okay, another one po tayo. Next page. Kasi hanggang 7 pages po tayo. 1, 2, 3, smile. Okay, 5 to go. Another 1, 2, 3, smile. Another one po tayo. Konting taste lang po. 1, 2, 3, smile. Yan. Next. 3 to go. 1, 2, 3, smile. Sige, 2 to go. 1, 2, 3, smile. Okay, another one. Last one na po tayo. 1, 2, 3, smile. And okay, thank you po sa lahat. Yan. By the way, yung link po is, I think na-send na po ba ng ating technicals yung ating pong QR code para po ma-scan. Yan, kindly post na lang po on our screen. Pwede nyo pong screenshot and don't forget po to fill out our evaluation link that would serve as your attendance. And that's wrap up our webinar for Technopreneurship this afternoon. Again, sir, salamat po sa inyong lahat. Sa ating lahat ng various chapters, ISEP, KSA, CRC from various chapters all over the Philippines and from other countries. Again po, thank you and God bless po sa ating lahat. Thank you po and goodbye.
Thank you, Sir Joshua.
Salamat po, salamat po.
Thank you, sir.
Bump, 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 put like a traffic jam. Hell's
faking on me, got the faking on me. History in the making on me. Point blank, close range, left me. If it costs $1 million, that's me.